So 2025 is now upon us and the cycling and triathlon season is fast approaching. Now with that in mind, over the last couple of months I've been scouring the internet, buying what other things on sale I can find that I think, and I'm hoping, are going to make me faster in 2025. Maybe they won't, but I'm clutching at straws. What are you going to do? Now I'm going to talk you through 5 or 6 things that I'm changing for the 2025 season. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below, and if you've got a "this is my upgrade for this year," let me know what it is down below, because as said, I'm getting desperate. Right, I'm going to make some space and talk about each thing separately. Firstly then, helmets, lids, cycling helmets. Now, I'm not changing yet my time trial and triathlon helmet. I will be, but I haven't got one yet, so I'm here to talk about what I've actually got. This has been my setup for 2024 and a couple of years before that as well, I think. I do a lot of training in the Casque Mojito 3. I really like this helmet. My cycling club have an orange and black theme, so a lot of us get these because they fit the club kit colours quite well, and that's as deep as it is really. I can tell that it's faded a bit on the back, but do you know what? I've really enjoyed wearing this helmet. It's held up to a lot of abuse really well. I've not crashed in it, but it is a few years old now, and I know that you're not supposed to keep helmets forever, or it does affect the integrity, so I'm told. Really nice, ventilated. I train in this pretty much all year round. It is a bit cold in the winter, but it is needed in the summer to have good ventilation. Retail price of these, I think it was about £130 a couple of years ago, so not super cheap, but also I know you can spend more money on a helmet. And then this is what I've been like road racing and crit racing in. This is the Abbas Game Changer, an aero helmet. It looks really aero, doesn't it? It does have a couple of vents in it, but it's not that ventilated. It's a trade-off between aerodynamics and cooling, and this was okay for the most part. If I did a really hot race, I'd just put the Casque Mojito on, but for the most part, I'd just wear this. I'm not racing for hours and hours at a time, but the main reason for swapping these is they're just a bit tired, they're just a bit thrown around, scuffed, scratched, old, faded, smelly, etc. So they're just ready for an upgrade. And upgrade, I think I have. So this is going to be my new training helmet, the Van Rysel. I'm going to get the model wrong. This is not sponsored, and this is why I don't get these deals, because I don't actually remember what they are. I think it's the MCR Pro, RCR MIPS. It's a road helmet, it's well ventilated, it's blue. It says racer on the top actually, but I think it is pretty much a training helmet. And this was £80 at full price. It's got a standard clasp, it has got a material strap, whereas the Casque's got a leather strap. I don't know as if any one is better than the other, but I've tried it on, it feels really nice and snug. I need to test it on the road, but really well ventilated, similar weight-wise to these, and I think a really competitive price point for a training helmet. So yeah, I look forward to getting that tried. And then for like road racing, crit racing, or like chain gangs, fast road riding, that sort of thing, I have gone for this, which has racer in bigger words on the top. This again is Van Rysel. If I'm honest, I was just on the site and I thought, well, I might as well buy 2 helmets from one place. This is, as I understand it, the helmet that Decathlon AG2R do ride in the World Tour, so I'm sure it's been tested, I'm sure it's fast, and this was £100, which I know is a lot of money, but compared to all the helmets on the market, isn't that extortionate, and I like the fact it's got like a cool little magnetic clasp. I don't know how much easier that is to use like in the heat of the moment than normal clasps, but if I was to do a duathlon or something, and where putting your helmet on and off fast is required, well, that might be a little gain. I don't really know, but more than anything, I like having a white lid. I think it looks pretty smart. It goes with a lot of different outfits that you'll wear racing, and yeah, it's still got a few vents on it as well, which I was really pleased to see, more so than the Abbas Game Changer. I struggle with the heat when it gets hot for the 1 week or 2 weeks in the UK, so having an aero lid that's got some ventilation in will suit me just fine. I think the main reason for me picking these was largely driven by the cost. You look at other helmets and you think, oh, they're £50, £60 more expensive. It's a big factor to me for something that I know you should value it a lot because it's protecting your head, but I sort of assume that they're all going to do a good job at that. I don't really value the minute differences between maybe an S-Works Evade might be slightly faster than that, but that's not going to make a difference to me, to what I'm going to do. But having a couple of new lids that don't stink, oh. If you've used either of these, let me know in the comment section down below. And I am going to keep these and make use of them, not just throwing them away. I'll use this for like off-road training, and I think I'm going to use this for like off-road racing. They just get mucked up a lot more, and I'd be a lot less concerned about getting them mucked up because they're already mucked up. The second one is cycling shoes. Now, I have new road shoes. I'm going to get new tri shoes. These are Lake cycling shoes. I can't actually remember the model of them, but they're the mid-range ones. They're lace up. But the main reason I'm getting these is comfort. I'm not even saying only Lake shoes could have done this, but Dan at UK Bike Fit measured me up and got me some shoes that fit me. I've previously suffered with quite a lot of foot pain through just having too narrow shoes. So I know that having shoes that fit me will mean I perform better because I'm not suffering with pain and having to oh, let me just lift my foot off the pressure for a little while. So I've only ridden these a few times because it's winter and it's grim out there and I don't want to get my new shoes mucked up. And I have paired them with some Gebimized, which I can't pull out, but custom insoles, fit me really well, feel really good. Definitely giving me a lot more confidence now in, investing more money in kit that is more expensive than what I've currently got, but fits me well. And that's the theme with a lot of the things I'm going to be talking about, is that comfort is key. So yeah, really rate these so far. I need to get some more miles in on them as well though. The other shoes are just because it's mucky outside at the minute, but yeah, new shoes. Next up, I didn't want to get a full bike up here, but this is a disc rotor. I'm essentially going to disc brake. I got a gravel bike 2 years ago now. Love riding the disc brakes, love riding them on the road. I then went and got a disc brake road sort of training bike and like climbing bike. Absolutely love it. And now I'm in that circle of now I need to ride disc brakes. When I get on a rim brake bike, it's like, oh, I feel like, oh, this isn't as good. So I've took the plunge. I'm swapping my bikes for disc brake, buying and begging second-hand parts and whatever else and building things up, as you might have seen on this channel. But yeah, disc brakes is a big upgrade for me in 2025. Not necessarily a speed upgrade, but definitely more of a comfort and safety thing. I'm in the Peak District in the UK, it's really hilly, it's a lot easier for me to stop my not so slender frame on disc brakes than it is rim brakes. And who doesn't love a new bike day? Next up is the Hoob Sub 7 Tri-Suit. Now I do partner with Hoob on this channel, so this is like sponsored equipment. They're not telling me to say this right now, but I have received this product for free, so bear that in mind. But prior to that, I've used Hoob products for years and years. I recently used the Anemoy 2 when I was last racing triathlon a bit more the year before last. But this year, I will be using the Sub 7 Tri-Suit. I actually got it about 6 months ago, but I haven't been able to fit in it in honesty. So this forms part of a bigger project for me to become slightly smaller project, but I'm on it, right? Now, this technology has moved on so much. We've seen in the last few years that every cycling team in the World Tour's got ridges on the sleeves and overshoes and calf sleeves and all these different things. And Hoob are well behind that. The Aero Bridge technology, that's the right term, I had to check that first. In the sleeves specifically, we've seen Ali Brownlee and others use this sort of thing. If it's good enough for them, it is absolutely good enough for me. But that's all cool, it's super fast and everything else, but I mentioned comfort earlier. This is the biggest gain I've found. It has a very similar chamois to what the Anemoy 2 had in. And this is really hard to describe the feel, but if you look at the chamois here, it's actually in 3 separate pieces, so they move really independently. With Tri-Suits, you're fighting a battle of, you want it to be comfortable on the bike, but then you don't want to feel it on the run, so it's well, you could put a whacking chamois in there, it'd be great on the bike, but you struggle to run in it. This I really like is it's like higher in the middle than it is on the edge, so it's thinner on the edge and thicker in the middle. When you're riding, you feel like you've got a proper chamois on, and when you're running, you feel like you haven't got one on. And I don't know what other brands do with chamois. I've definitely used some other brands in years gone by, and they've not been as good at it as this. And I know not everybody will get on with it, but I really have got on with this chamois, and that's me. If you can ride your time trial bike and not have to be like, oh, I'm chafing or I'm sore or whatever else, that is a massive gain, even aside the aero stuff. So my personal project is to lose some weight and be able to fit in this damn thing. Secondly, to actually wear it, use it and perform well is the plan. So yeah, the Hoob Sub 7. I'm debating getting some I don't know, with some logos on it or something. I don't really know, to be honest, but I don't know if I want to personalise it or not, but yeah, definitely using this. I'm going to come back to wetsuits and stuff when the weather's a bit warmer so I can actually test them. Running trainers. Now, if you are a runner, you probably have a wardrobe full of trainers. Now, I go through phases of buying fast shoes and not fast shoes. Over the last year or so, I've mostly just been doing steady running, so I haven't really worn fast carbon plated fancy foam shoes. But I do plan to do more of that in 2025. I've used the Alphafly 2s before, and I've used the Vaporfly 2s. I've also run in the Hoka Carbon X2s, but that's the only real experience I've got of faster running shoes. But the Nikes I have really got along with. If I'm honest, I prefer the feel of the Alphafly to the Vaporfly. However, the Vaporflies were on offer before Christmas at Sports Direct. I'm not sure whether it was a listing error or whether they just couldn't get rid of this specific colour, but these were £125 each for the pair, not each shoe. I bought 2 pairs, hoping that's going to last me at least a year. They're normally £260 a pair, so for that sort of discount, I'm going to buy the ones that I've, regardless of whether I think they're the best for me or not. A saving of that magnitude is worth it, isn't it? I have most recently run in the Vaporfly 2, so I know that I can run well for me in the Vaporflies, and And as the models go on and on, I would just hope that, you know, they're getting better and better, aren't they? So I'm sure these will be mucky after the first run, but yeah, Vaporfly 3s bought over winter and will be using in 2025. I mostly saved the fancy shoes for race day because I have had a few pairs in the past. I've got some older ones that I will use in training, and then I try and keep these for like pristine for race day. Maybe one run in them before the day, but just to sort of save that mileage and save having to buy any more. Running shoes is something I want to test a bit more as well. I know there's a whole market out there, so if there's something you think is better than this, let me know. They're slightly easier to buy and get delivered and stealthily concealed from my other half as well. Easier than bikes anyway. Right, this is the last thing, and this is something that I'm not actually going to be using, but I wanted to talk about it because I think it fits in with this story of when I go through things like this. Some things I'm saying, oh, I get this through a partner to the channel. Some things I'm saying I've just bought normally. You get brands approach you to say, oh, can you test and review this? And it's a really difficult decision to make for a creator because you want to like not say anything that the brand wants you to say just because they want you to say it. You want to be true to yourself and maintain your integrity and all of that. So I recently got sent in fact, what did I say the brand? I thought I said the brand. A wheel top group set. This is a Chinese group set. It's for a gravel bike, and I'm not going to be testing this or reviewing this. I have actually told them to take it back. The reason I told them to take it back is because they are quite clear that they want certain guidelines to be followed when doing a review, and they want here's a script and some things to say, and you need to say this in the first minute and all that sort of jazz. And I understand creators do that, and maybe they're getting paid, and maybe they need to make a living and all of that. But that ain't me. I don't want to sit here and tell you something is good. Now that might be a brilliant product, but I'm not saying it because I'm told to say it. So that is going back. Unfortunately, that was going to go on Liz's bike as an upgrade to her, but she will now not be having that. Apologies, Liz. So yeah, I just wanted to lay out there that when you see me stood here at this desk that took me 5 hours to put together, talking about products, I maintain my integrity over everything. So I think that's about it for the time being. Let me know in the comment section down below what you've got for the 2025 season. I'll do some more activity related kit when the weather's a bit better to get out there and test it. Hit like, subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.